was a predominantly black
Oh,
university. Huh?
I'm trying to figure out who gave up and who's giving excuses.
Who? What?
I don't know. Stay down.
I'm not doing.
I
Leave
got
control.
2 successful businesses and running a third. I can't speak on the energy you speaking on, but if you have something that you would like to say, you can always come up and give your input.
You sure can. You really can.
Because you came in here on a whole different tip other than what we were.
What's their name?
No one can.
Oh, well, I mean, of course, with a name like that, with the power of suggestion. I mean, first and foremost, if you want to come up and entertain this conversation, you are so more than welcome to come up. Okay. We were going to talk about something totally different, but you can't pew, 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 like you Yosemite Sam. And why you got to put the S with the blacks? That's making me feel as though you're not from a certain persuasion. Come on. If you want to come up, come up. But what we're not going to do is start at 10:37 in the morning with some courage and no courage at all. So it's your choice.
Because we have no issue addressing the foolery.
No, we don't. We really don't.
We don't. Just like I said, hold on, Kiki, and had to stop my co-host to address that comment. I promise you we don't mind.
Yeah, there you go. No, go away. Bye. Just leave me. Okay? Leave me.
If you're so concerned about why black folks don't have a corner store or a beauty supply store,
because you don't have.
I was gonna say then provide one.
Because you're talking to 2 business owners.
Multiple business owners. We got multiple businesses between us.
Yeah. Maybe
and everything.
Right. And then let's talk about that then. Let's talk about that. So I guess we're starting. So welcome to the see, you had me my train of thought, man. Like where was my bell? I gotta look, you got me using a remote to ding my bell because I wasn't even ready. But see, I'm always prepared. How about that? How about that? I'm still gonna ding it. I don't care. I'm still gonna ding it because maybe I need to turn the TV off for a little bit. At the same time, I'm trying to mute you. And is it working? All right. Yeah, because you came across the wrong one. Yeah, you got my TV talking about the Arnold Orange Mussolini. See how the universe works. You see how negativity transcended into my house. Now you hear the TV in the background because you done came here and with your little bombs and then left. That's why I'll be reading the comments. Because they be coming up.
I thought they were really finna have a cool little conversation.
They're not. Because they think they see love and light. Oh, they're not going to say anything.
You okay?
Yeah, you got the wrong one, sir.
I heard you with my words.
Exactly. Them. Oh, my gosh. Okay, where's this freaking remote now? I done did the thing, and now the remote done went somewhere, and now I got to look for the thing because it's going to throw me off. Throw me off.
Mama can't stay muted.
No, you can. You can mute yourself if you need to.
No, I'm saying for the majority of the video because he want to talk. Giving his little side remarks and comments and things. Yeah, tell them. They don't be knowing. They don't be wanting to hear from us. Maybe
they don't. They don't. Look, you messing me with the wrong shirt. I'm showing off today.
Why does shirts always be reflecting the current moment? I promise you, no matter where we are, you always can reference your shirt to prove a point of the situation. I swear, you be on it every time. It don't matter what it is.
Because it used to be in the 80s, a t-shirt wasn't a phallus thing that you would just put on frivolously. It was your people don't practice that. It was your mouth. We always talk about the passive aggressive person, but no one ever talks about the aggressive passive person. I'm very aggressive, but passive. I was pissed off at a certain event, so I wore the one that says "You Stand Out," a Dr. Seuss t-shirt, because I'm done. You take it how you want it. Never said your name. I never took a black Sharpie and said, these are the people that I'm talking to or whatever. If the shoe fits, wear it kind of thing, you know? There was this old lady. She was so sweet. But she had such the most pottiest mouth. She was like, how old was she? She was about, I want to say she was nearing 90 when I met her. And one day it was Halloween. And she was her daughter would, she says, I know this is a convalescent, but my mom always likes passing out candy for Halloween. So she would go home, purchase the candy and stuff, and didn't do like the elderlies, and then she would put it in Ziploc bags. And then she would say like a nice little note with a heart on it or something like that, like, or pumpkins or something, whatever she, you know. And so we were more receptive to. So one day this lady, she looks at me. Now, I've known her for, now this is going on 2 years. This is the second year that I met her. She says, lady, come here. You want to fuck a farmer? And I'm like, what kind of psychosis is this? And I said, now remember, she's passing out candy. And I was like, why the fuck she saying that? Well, this year she had a whole shit ton of fucking Jolly Ranchers. She said, well, then give them a Jolly Rancher. Sometimes it's that old school humor.
Yeah.
Because it's word association.
Yeah. And not everybody gonna get it.
Not everybody gonna, because Jolly Rancher. You want to go fuck a farmer?
You want to go fuck a farmer?
Get a Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher. I'm gonna think about that now when I.
So every time I have Jolly Ranchers, I think about that lady.
That's so cute.
That was like, you know, because sometimes it's like nasty humor, but it's like old school. I mean, think about it. I never even researched it. And if you could, and if anyone's in the chat, when were Jolly Ranchers like invented? Like, we know when like candy apples were invented, because there was this guy that had a candy store back east, right? I think somewhere in Salem and somewhere in Virginia. And he was not selling candy. And I think this was around the 1800s. And so when he was down on his luck, he had, and I'm not being facetious, he really had a shit ton of apples. I'm not being facetious. You can look it up. And he literally was trying to sell his candy. So he took the hard candy and melted it, and then started just, in his worry, started dipping the apples. And then before you knew it, he had all these apples that were candy, didn't even know what to call them. And it was cinnamon, because he's trying to get rid of all the cinnamon candy. And that's why the traditional candy apple is a cinnamon red apple, because that's the first one. And it was around in Salem or whatever and stuff. But all I'm saying is that old lady telling me that joke, I could have been crass and mad and, oh my God, why is she cursing at me? But I looked at the more of the sweet instead of the bitter, because she literally, I looked at these mofos since I was a kid. I would have never thought about making a joke from that. You know? Hey, come here.
Let's go fuck a farmer.
You want to go fuck a farmer? And I'm like, huh?
Oh, I can't wait to clip that.
Go get a Jolly Rancher.
I'm gonna clip that part right there, and I'm gonna post it. Let's go fuck a farmer. Next episode.
Woo! Yes.
That'll catch
you have to say it like that. Hey,
let's go fuck a farmer.
You wanna go fuck a farmer? Get a Jolly Rancher. That was like so X-rated, PG coded. It was the most cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, no one's ever said that joke, and I've never recorded it either. So I'm going to prime and ready that one, because that made me think of word association, especially in our spiritual path, how our word association gets us in turmoil.
Yeah.
That little tidbit, that little freaking crazy joke right there, it's just word association. And she didn't mean it by any means, but it is a Jolly Rancher.
Real jolly.
Jolly. And how you took the jolly is where it took her to say that freaking joke.
Nice and hard for you.
Sometimes when you listen to old people, like, you can volunteer to go to a convalescent. You don't have to have a resident there to go and volunteer. Maybe we should stop going to church and do what Jesus would do. Go see your elderly. Go to the group homes. You know, tapping in and reversing all of this stuff. Because I'm looking at Orange Mussolini right now. And he's talking about pew-pewings at a mental health awareness event. And we're coming up on June. What would you do? I don't care if it's red, blue, purple, green. I just want you to go to the polls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I said it. I was like a poet and didn't know it. Because if you don't do it, it'll be repeated and then we'll be defeated. I can't stop it. I can stop it. Oh, I need to pitch me, God. Oh,
I can't.
Oh my gosh, that person like had us start like crazy today. So I don't know. It's gonna be a shock where we start in the because I don't forgot my name. They made me so mad.
I don't even care. Like wherever, however
like
you cut
they just can't.
You can put that on there for all I care. Look, you could upload that. It don't even matter. They tried it.
It was fun. It's like, you know, that's what the Double K exchange gets. We get exchange of stuff. We're not dry and drippy and scripted. Like, we literally came in here like pew 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 pew.
Your personal handle is the Spicy Gemini. My personal YouTube is Kemi Unfiltered. Y'all not gonna know what y'all finna get with us, but I promise y'all, don't come for us. Cause I'll be ready.
Yeah, cause y'all could go and get those Jolly Ranchers. Now you'll know what I mean when I say that. Just like in the East Coast in the 80s, before there was Hooked on Phonics, there was this commercial. You got to look it up, Cammy. It's the most funniest shit. But this is an East Coast thing for the hard R word. So we didn't say the hard R word. We would call them sweet pickles. When you see sweet pickles, and you see where my mind was as a child and what we would do, and that's what they called me because I was in special ed. Oh, you going on that sweet pickles bus? Ooh. That's what they would call us, special ed. They would call us all sweet pickles. When you look it up, take a gander. But you can't look it up just ChatGPT. You got to go to YouTube and put sweet pickles commercial.
Okay.
And then once you look at the sweet pickles commercial, I want you to go and then research what their names are.
The sweet pickles?
Yeah, they have characters.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know. I really I'm starting to see the image of the different pickle characters. Was one of them a female? Was one of them a female?
They were all animals, and I think there was one called Lazy Alligator or something like that, and then Procrastination Duck, or it's just I don't remember because I'm very elevated right now. But when you go, they have descriptions of each sweet pickle. So when I get mad, see, that's the double meaning of words. Because I grew up on the East Coast, people would know off bat if they were OG if I called them a sweet pickles, especially in a certain demographic on Long Island and the time that I grew up. if I call somebody Sweet Pickles here on the Sesame Street channel because I can't really say what I want, they'll never know. See? So when I start calling people Sweet Pickles, they'll know. Just like I will call you remedial. It means the same thing, but it's not a slur. You see how that goes? You're remedial.
That's why I've been like, oh, you special. Okay.
Because there are remedial classes, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to go teach yourself something. Meaning of words, Jolly Rancher, come with me. But when I talk like that around people that are not logical with using words, then I look out of pocket because I'm so logical in what I have learned because I've done the work. That sometimes I have to, in that arena, talk in layman's terms. Because solitude sometimes has you so within, that by the time you're like, oh, well, dang, they have what I want, but I've been in season doing the work. And then when you talk in season amongst the sheep, it kind of shows a dysfunction because you're where you want to be, but you're not reflecting on the thing yet of where you were. And then people are confused because you're in a power of strength, but then it's like you don't have the numbers. It's like when someone asks you about your body count, all you got to do, look, the next time you ladies get the number shame game, tell them you do condom math. It eliminates everything. You never touch condom math eliminates everything. It says in X Ed that when you do that, when we were raised, I was raised during Ryan White, okay? The epidemic was real, like COVID-19. It was. And they would tell us that it would eliminate math. So that's what I did. When my husband asked me about my body count, I said, I do condom math, babe. Only 3. He said, how? I said, because the ones that weren't serious, they got the Jimmy Dimmy. Yeah, so that doesn't count. We didn't do the things we do with you. No. Cellophane was my friend. Plastic wrap. That's what cellophane is. Yeah. Condom math. Fuck a body count. Condom math. Say it with me. Condom math. Anytime they say it.
You are so lit. And I'm not. Maybe that's the problem.
I'm happy because I was in Hermosa Beach with my daughter. Do you know I went to a place? We went to go see Project Runway, okay? And I'm just reflecting, and it's just I'm giddy because I got here at 1 a.m, and so I feel busy. I feel like we're literally content creators in this little city, and once someone connects the dots, because no one out here is doing this. I've seen people in our streets that are subpar with their communication. They don't know how to connect the dots. It's a very hard task to sit in front of a camera and mesh well with your co-host and not have the, what's my name? Show enough. You know, I think we bounce off, like, right? Like in the beginning, I think it was the energy of, I don't know, you know, but I think as we progressed, I think that everything is cool. But no, condom math. Don't have people with the body count and stuff. We have to learn our own discernment and words of association. You see, Jolly Rancher. You see how I connect the dots? Not a lot of people have that sequoia of doing those things. That person came in here hot and ready, and I'm still teaching a freaking lesson because I could do that. Because you know why? This is the double K exchange. And I know we're 15 minutes in and I took that long to tell your name because he made me so hot that I had to learn new words because I'm on this app and I couldn't say the things that I wanted to say. So I had to say condom math and sweet pickles. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that was.
But see, but we've learned we don't read the comments because then they be getting liquid courage and stuff, and then be wanting to benign that they bots. Yes, April, they are bots.
I'll try not to read the comments, but I'll be looking for any reason. I promise you.
I know, and it helps the algorithm because now we got 4 people in here. And if you, King Ming, can do me a favor, tippity tap 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 that screen. You know what I mean? Yes. Yes. We were going to talk about so much stuff. We are 30 minutes in, and I think that it was just I'm just so excited. So anyway, we go to this theater. It was about 30 minutes away from Hermosa. So I don't know exactly where I was. I just know that it was 30 minutes away from the beach. And when we get there, there's these stairs that are going to the promenade, and it's outside. It had like a PF Chang's, it had a BJ's restaurant, and these suckers were huge. It was giving Riverwalk vibes, but they were real restaurants. Like they were huge, like they could have a massive freaking crowd. And I was like, oh wow, that's cute. And I'm seeing all the signs, and my kids were like, who's gonna take the escalator? I wonder if the 2 old ones can beat us. Do you know it was a freaking tie? Do you know last year or 2 years ago, because of my knee surgery and my other surgeries and stuff, due to health, I wasn't even able to walk up 4 steps without. Yesterday, I ran up 20 stairs nonstop. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
And I feel like, that's liberating in itself because my daughter told me, she was like, Mom, not a lot of women in their mid 40s are literally redoing a part 2, like in all aspects. She was like, you look different because you're active and you're doing things and you're busy. I said, yeah, I feel like I got a new lease on life. I feel that when I was young and in survival mode and taking care of my daughter and stuff, I don't think that I was able to do what I did in my 20s. Now I do it within reason, right? I cut the rug doing pole fitness instead of going to the club because the club eliminates having people hit on me when I'm a full whole woman that's married, right? But I still want to go out. So I had to compromise. That's what a compromise is. I still want to go out, but why am I going to a club when that's the den for trying to get somebody? I'm not, just because I want to dance. That's my fault because now I'm wanting to want to dress nice and all that stuff. So I'd rather just be in a VIP place that's women's only, to where there's no concern in his mind once I go out. And I think a lot of us don't talk about the compromise. Compromise doesn't mean you have to be submissive. You still could do the thing you want to do. It just might not be exactly how you want to do it. Yeah. I'm a free agent. I've always been a free agent. I just have to refine the way that I'm a free agent. And that's why I told him about condom math. But I don't do it no more. But it's when we first started dating and stuff, I just laugh at these girls on social media getting all perplexed. All you gotta do is say that and it'll combat everything because it's true. Once you find the person that you're supposed to be with, then yes, okay. It's like it gave you a little slither of experimenting. But we should not be shaming people because it takes 2 to tango.
Right.
Because of people like you is probably why girls like that have the body count.
And I was too, like it can play, it's a lot of different factors, trauma, different things that you asking somebody that question and you don't know their history is kind of crazy.
Just going straight to that. Straight to that. And that energy of why I was acting like that is because sometimes they be coming up in here and thinking that, oh, well, no, no, no. I'm about all things. I will correct you in all of those things because that energy is clapped out in here and it might be funny and stuff, but at the same time, condiment.
Yeah, don't do it.
Because you have to see that they come in with this big giant energy and then they just and then they just leave. Yeah. And then you be getting banana splits and Thursdays and 20s and stuff because if you talk directly to them, they be wanting to throw shots and be wanting to block your account. So that's why I said don't want. We could talk about it, but it's like, then I don't know if it's a real person or if it's a bot or whatever, or it's just they be like that. I'm surprised they came in. I don't even know who that person was, but they left a message, so they'll be blocked later anyway.
Like, I don't know. No one cares. That's what it was. No one cares. Okay.
And then the movie with something, it was like something like eerie because when I first saw the movie, I was in my mid whatevers. Like it was a long time ago, like 20 something years ago, right? Mid 30s, 20s. I was like barely making it, and it was like, very I felt very far apart. When I saw this movie, I was here in my local area, and it was something to be said to be in the place where it was made. Like I was like in Hermosa Beach. I was in a better place. It was like when I go to the movies here, people don't interact. They're very quiet. They don't talk. Like unless it's like, a certain crowd, but 9 times out of 10 you don't get the talking to the screen and all that stuff here in this where we are. When I went to the one near Hermosa Beach, it was a mixed crowd, with the emotions. I don't know, like I'm not going around colorizing people with the radar and stuff, but the atmosphere is like, there was people giggling and talking to the screen, or like, almost choking on their popcorn because there was a line that went back to the old one. And if you've been watching it as long as we have, there was a lot of similarities, like the characters flowed. Mel Streep, I don't know what they did, but she still looked the same. Anne Hathaway still looked the same. Mm-hmm. Everybody still looked the same. And that's very hard to do when you do a reboot or a redo or a part 2 or a prequel, whatever, because of all that time span. And two, just talking about time and transcending your life and your lifespan and things that you love to do until you don't want to do them no more. And it should be your decision and no one should force you out. But it was kind of sad because I don't think that I would want to do, maybe I would want to do it because of the busy work, but do you think that you would eventually want to stop doing the thing that you're doing? Are you doing this to just do it, or are you doing this to substantiate wealth in some type of form, that something that a practice that you can push on to your family, because there's a lot of different emotions, but that's the one that stuck with me because at the end of the movie there's a certain scene and I'm reflecting and I'm like, dang, do I want to do the thing that I'm doing forever? Or do I want to create something that I can pass on to my family? Not saying I'm making them be a doula, but just being an entrepreneur, I want to make sure that, hold on. I want to make sure that, am I going to end like Devil Wears Prada at the end? An old person still doing the things that I'm doing, even though that I can stop at any time? Or am I going to stop when I'm ready? That's something we have to think about.
Yeah.
Like, are we setting ourselves up to do the struggle game forever and be your own employee, or are you going to multiply your practice by substantiating income to where it revolves and helps you, like the dueling, you know.
I already, as far as like trying to plan out future wise, I already want to be in a space where 11:11 on the time. I really just want to be in a space where everything worked for me, and I want to have the community organizations and different things like that. Like, you know what I mean? So where the work is still being done, but I'm not having to put myself out there so much to do the work, because I didn't create a foundation where other people can do the work
Right.
in the community and it still be a success for everybody. Just less work on me.
And that's, I think that when I talked to my friend about books and movies, you know, there's literacy in cinema. Some people go just to watch, and just to watch, right, with no reflection. I go to movies like that, even though it was like nice to look at the glam and stuff. The story is really what I was there for. I like the, you know, the story of how they just continued it and everything, but then the reflection of, here it is, an older person. Now I'm watching this 2 years from 50. God knows how old she was, because her friend transpired and he was like 75. So it's like, you know, it was a lot of those elements that were in there. So it's like, where do I want to see myself then if I'm doing a business? Because when I watched it before, I wasn't in that space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tucci wasn't in that space. Like he was just starting out on different films or whatever and stuff. And so now here it is, he's holding that true persona of that person outside of the movie. Maybe it was something that he tapped in. I have no idea. Maybe it was always there, and sometimes people are enhanced. Some people say that when they act, there's certain things, like Keke Palmer said when she acted like that thug or whatever, she had to get therapy, because she said one day she was like going somewhere and it just like came out naturally, and she said, oh, like baby didn't go, baby's still here. But that is like, you know, people don't think that when people put on these personas, how it affects them.
Yeah, because they really embody, they have to really embody that role, that character, to the point where the entire time that they are creating the project and working on the project, that is literally who they are.
Yeah, and it's like when I look at, and I'm bringing Tucci up because when he was in Hunger Games and all that stuff, when Devil Wears Prada, like people knew him but didn't know him. Now he has like a channel. I think it's on Disney Plus. I don't know. I have no idea. But he's going around to different areas and sites and stuff, like National Geographic, like Will Smith and all them old heads. Like they go to these different freaking places and stuff. But he's talking about the culture mainly in Italy and all this, that, and other and stuff. And so I feel that it was a win for him. Maybe it tapped something in him that said, you know what? F it all. I'm married. I'm happy. Let me be that person that I've always wanted to be. And I think when you say it in a nice way, it comes out in your performance. And it really did come out in his freaking performance. And he only did a couple of lines. It's not like his character freaking talks. But it always landed. Mm-hmm. It was a one-liner. But at the end, when he's talking to Annie, and he's like, you know, you thought that this job just plopped into your lap before such and such passed away. I sent him a good recommendation on your behalf. And then said some type, and then he says, oh, you thought you did this all on your own. You know, so I think that holding your own space and knowing where you are, right?
What?
I think that that's what just basically how your life cycle is going to be as you develop from, if you saw a movie when you were younger and now that you're in this life cycle, how do you reflect on that when you see it? Do you still like feel that that's something that you can ingest, or is it something that is like you like food for thought, or you know, do you have the same feelings on your cinematic consumption?
So I don't remember the last time I really sat and just watched a movie,
Mm-hmm.
but the perfect example that I can probably give for this situation will be, so when I was younger, right? Because um, we're gifted.
Right.
When I was younger, and I used to watch That's So Raven,
Mm-hmm.
right? I used to see myself in her so much, right? Because she had the visions and whatnot. And at that time, I was still trying to figure out what the hell I was going through. We couldn't tell nobody, but every time I watched That's So Raven, it resonated, and I'm like, okay, it's something there, right? So now, fast forward all these years, I ended up finding That's So Raven on Hulu, and I've been binge watching it for the longest. But like when I watch it now, I'm like, oh my god, like I've really been going through like it resonates even more so now than it did back then when I knew that it was resonating, because I've been in my gift. I've been using my gift. I've been, writing things down that come to fruition, telling people their downloads, all of these different things. So it's so funny because the way, how she used to get a vision and then she would try to help and fix the vision, but she makes things worse because she then misinterpreted the vision.
Yes.
Yes, that is my life.
And
That is my
you
life.
know that, and did when you did that, did you watch an episode? Because even though we are associated with That So Raven, like I even have the freaking t-shirt because we watched it. I was at that, and it's weird because I literally, my two oldest ones I grew up with. Like literally. I was 16. Me and my daughter are like 16 years apart. That's like her and Emmy. Literally her and Emmy. And she looks at it as a reflection and she's like, man, like when I moved, I didn't have to take Emmy with me. Like when you moved, you had to take me with you. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's crazy, Mom. And I said, and that's the life that I didn't want for you. And that's why it circles back, because I like to do it. Condom math. Say it with me. I'm dead serious. Everybody has, with this world that we're living in, no one should be trying to make you do abstinence because hormones are a thing. People have needs. I'm not telling people to go out there, but do it responsible. Cellophane is a wonderful key. If you don't like the dingling, you got to use the cellophane. You do. You do, because I am a doula, but I'm a groovy doula. I'm the hippie that they stereotype in all those movies and stuff. But I think that's what we have lost in society. Because
It's funny you said that because I was reflecting on that the other day, and I was just like, I'm really low key the hippie that I always imagined that I would be as a kid, but never admitted that I wanted to be a hippie because they were made to be frowned upon. Like they were made to do this bad thing.
Yes.
But now that I'm getting older and I'm more whimsical and spiritual, and I'm like, I am the hippie that I always thought that I would be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But society always made the tree huggers and the hippies and
why is it evil to be a tree hugger, to love the freaking ocean?
I never understood that concept when I was old. Like as I was getting older, I'm like, why? How is hugging a tree a bad thing?
And then this brings me to, I would have loved to have been around my diaspora on Mother's Day. But I'm not trying to get a STDI on a beach because they do the excuse me they do the drumming circle in Venice Beach at sundown, and I love that. But the thing is that it's so ferocious that it takes me 30 minutes. I'll honor the beach by trying to collectively clean the perimeter before I sit, and I will do a 50 like radius of it. Said, okay, so it's 5 of us, so I'll go out and I'll do an area of what we will be around, and I'll pick up stuff that I see. And people are looking at me like, why is she doing like slave stuff? Why is she cleaning? Why do people get nervous when they see a black person wanting to naturally clean the earth and respect it?
Because it makes them feel guilty unconsciously, subconsciously, unknowingly. It makes them feel uncomfortable because, for one, it's like, well, they're doing it. Why am I not doing it?
Mm.
More so like, okay, now I feel uncomfortable because I'm watching them do it, and I don't know if I should help or not. So I'm going to just sit here and just look puzzled and judge them because they're doing something that I didn't even think to myself to do, but it's making me uncomfortable because I see them doing it and it didn't dawn on me to do it. And I don't have the courage to be like, hey, would you like some help? So it makes them feel uncomfortable, especially when you're black, because what are y'all doing? That's how they feel. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why do you care more about this environment than I do? And
You're supposed to be the scum of the earth. You're not supposed to want to clean.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, you know how they feel about us. So to see something like that, it just hits them on so many different areas that it's like, oh, now go sit and reflect on that shit.
And I don't know if I have it in my archives. I don't even know if I had during C19. It's probably like on my Likey account or whatever, but we went to during C19 we went to that very beach. And if you know Venice Beach, there's a certain area where there's going down the hill, there's a place where you can park on the lower level where the beach line is. And there's this area where it hits the freeway, and there's a section, like a little corner, that is, you can't see anything. There was gobs of trash. This dude took a street sweeper, made a perimeter circle under the floodlight in the parking lot during C19 to do content with his brand new car. And instead of taking the trash and putting it in like a pile of sorts, he just pushed it in a circle to make the aesthetic of it looking clean around his car. And I see dirty fucking diapers, Chipotle, just trash. Just because we were in C19, you just it was giving third world country. And it's like, I want to be around my diaspora, but y'all gotta do better.
It's really sad when the taxes is as outrageous as they are that we pay in our state, and for those conditions to be what they be in the cities that are in our state. Like, it is just so wild.
So I don't know which one is the problem. The person making the content, pushing the trash around to clean the aesthetic, or just y'all gross out there in Santa Monica and Venice, because y'all be battling it out because y'all so close with the boardwalk and stuff. Like, you could literally, if you took your time, you can walk from Venice to Santa Monica because there's like literally cousin shorelines. So it's like, y'all need to talk. Y'all need to diversify or whatever, because now I see it as a problem. To what's going to happen is that people that are not from the beach area are going to start picking up on that and stuff, and the congestion, and then figure out like this is not the only beach, and they're going to start going to other beaches. And y'all need to get it together too, because it was so clean on Hermosa Beach to where it makes you feel as though you want to take your socks and shoes off and all your clothes and just run around naked on the beach, because the sand is so freaking clean. The water is so freaking clean. It's giving like that dark aqua color that you're supposed to see, right? Not the, I feel like I'm going to boil feeling, or I'm scared to touch the water. Like, I'm like, I love the beach. Why do I feel so hesitant when I'm in Santa Monica and Venice? When I was in Hermosa Beach, I was wet. I was in there. Like, clean. That's why.
Do
clean.
you think, like, us as a diaspora, us as a people, do you think a lot of the lack of care plays a part in the fact that we really don't have a space, or you get what I mean? So it's like, because when you, like you said, Hermosa Beach was really clean, it was kept up, you just wanted to, take your shoes off, kick your feet up, the whole nine, swim in the water like a dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the majority of the people there, the population there, they give a damn about their environment. But that's because they've always had a space to call their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if another reason why our people have such a disregard to the environment or to the spaces that we're in is because they feel like, shit, this ain't really my space.
But it is, in a sense. It is.
Right. But it
It's
is. But then
but
at the same
at
time, if this is how you,
simultaneously you're getting hurt and then you need to take care of something, right? Just because it's not yours, it's still yours. It's like if you ask a friend that you're mourning, you're in mourning, right? No matter what the grievance is, no matter where it took you, you're in the place of grievance, and you ask your friend that is PMSing to they're like, oh, do you want me to come over? Do you need some soup? Do you want me to, like, and they're listing all these things. Okay, now Becky comes in your midst and she's not even there. She's standing there as a vessel, but she's not giving any substance. And it feels as though you're doing more work healing, telling her what to do, than her just tapping in and doing what doing what she wants to do. Excuse me. Right?
mm-hmm.
You don't just show up. I don't care if you're PMSing. You could have just said, you know what? Becky with the good hair, I am not gonna show because I know I'm not gonna give you my 100. I'm going to just be, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'd rather for someone to do that than not show up for me, right? And that's what we got in C19. You show up at the beach, but you don't appreciate the beach.
I think that when people operate like that, I don't know, sometimes it can come from a space where they genuinely want to be there for you, but they
But you
want to be
feel
there for
it.
you. Yeah, but it's like they probably like the intention. It's not all the time, but the intention most of the time is, I do want to be there for you, even though I feel like this. So I'm going to show up because I want to be there for you, not realizing that me showing up in this space,
Mm-hmm.
or in this space, is doing more of a disservice than anything for both of us. But I do want to be there for you. I
Right.
just, you know what I mean? I don't want you to feel like I don't want to be here for you because I'm telling you I'm really going through this, this, and this. Then I don't want you to feel disregarded because you're telling me you're grieving and you need someone. But then if I sit here and say, well, I understand you're grieving, but I'm going through this, this, and this, then it kind of is like, so you feel like your PMSing is more important than my grieving. You get what I mean? So then it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to put that, like, that, so that person is like, well, shit, I don't know. I don't want you to feel like you're not important, but at the same time,
All you have to do is say upfront when you communicate with that person, hey, we're all tapped into that diaspora. However you identify, say, experience, PMSing is a bitch. And that hormone, sometimes, depending on if you're going through perimenopause and don't know it, if you have fibroids, don't know it, lupus, don't know it, all of these different factors. All you have to say, ladies and gentlemen, them, they, her, she, him, I would love to delve into helping you right now, but I am unable to hold the spoons to entertain that at this future moment. Once my stress, PMS, and trauma, I will be there for you. Give me just 2 days. You say the 2 days, but you don't show up like that person, like I said, and say, well, I'm going to wait the whole 48 hours. No, you say it. And then even if you show for the 24th hour, it's giving your spoons time to collect. Because if you say tomorrow, no, that because no, are we doing business hours or are we doing hospital hours? Or are you going to do see, now you have all those Olympics in your head. You always give yourself 2 days. If they're your true friend, guess what? Then in that very moment, both of y'all are going to know if they're a frenemy. Because it's how you respond. Relationships are like the carnival of cruises. There's a lot of different ones. It is. There's partnership with a person that you're co-hosting with, right? That's a different type of intimacy. There's your sisters and brothers. That's a different type of relationship. You see how I'm going? Then there's a partnership of collaborating because you're making coin money. That's a different type of relationship. So when I sit down with someone here we go again, Jolly Rancher, word association, and I say, I see that you're having difficulties in relationships. I'm married. I'm happy. Well, see, but how you sitting here getting all hot and ready? See, your relationships on how you communicate with people is failing, and you may be locked and loaded and been with your partner for 35 years, but Becky at the Xerox machine can't stand your guts, and that's why you're always not getting efficiency at work. Excuse me. And so when you break it down like that,
is a matter of how you show up, right? If you really honoring yourself and showing up authentically, and you able to take accountability in conversation in those spaces where, because you're not doing yourself you're doing yourself a disservice if you turn around and someone reaches out to you in that capacity, and you know that you are not in the space to pour into them because you barely got it to pour into yourself. But if you turn around and you still decide to try to pour into that person, you are not showing up authentically in that moment as yourself. And now you're doing yourself a disservice and them a disservice, because you showing up and you didn't need to be showing up, because you can't pour into somebody else and you ain't even poured it. You ain't got shit to pour because you ain't poured into yourself.
And sometimes people feel that energy. Sometimes people feel that energy because it's like, why am I going to waste my time with X, Y, and Z and get my feelings hurt when I already see, because I've done the work? And it's not being cocky. It's just when you do the spiritual work, you see the fuckery. You see it for what it is, because you've been on the mountaintop, been like,
You can see when someone is not authentic. You can see when someone is trying to put up a front and act as if they are authentic. But when it comes to authenticity, no matter how you show up in whatever space you show up, when you are showing up as authentically as you can, you don't need an announcement. It's going to be seen, it's going to be felt, it's going to be understood and recognized. So when you have people that sit here and constantly express how they are so real, but the ones that are viewing it can tell this is not real. This is not you. You are not being authentic in this moment. Like, it's obvious. You don't need an announcement.
No. And also, if the shoe fits on this episode, go get your size 12s and put them on, because I never dropped no names. I never said anything. I should be able to express whatever I express without people getting in their feels when they're around me. I just have to say that, because it's like, being a content creator, I had to work on that too, because we are in such small quarters, and I should be able to express what I express. I'm not around people 24/7, and maybe it's somebody else that got to be in my bonnet, and I wanted to express the thing that I wanted to express. But if the shoe fits and it resonates with you, maybe you have to do that work and work on it. I shouldn't have to gatekeep myself because you're not doing the work and you feel some type of way every time I speak truth. My freaking gateway number is 7, a truth teller.
That's mine too.
Oh, is it? Dang.
You see, I'm always talking about speaking truth. Speak your truth.
And that's probably why we get a, double 7.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I also feel like, hold on.
Oh, that lozenge. That lozenge really, really helped. Ooh.
have kids, they say. It's funny. I love them. Gosh dang, what was I saying?
Stepping into your truth and people seeing that you are not operating in true authentic movement.
Okay, so when it comes to, like, you know how you were saying you should be able to voice certain things and it not be an issue or whatever the case may be, I feel like if something is said and it ruffles some feathers, and instead of those individuals taking the time to really process, oh damn, why did I even feel like I needed to put that fucking shoe on? It don't even match my outfit. Why did I feel like I needed to put the shoe on? And instead of looking at that and then fixing whatever made them feel that way, they sub, which is just proving the point that was already made to begin with.
I think that I'm taking positive criticism in the meeting that I just last left. We literally were talking about content and getting it out there. And I feel that even though I got in at 12 something in the morning, this is my brand and this is our gift. And I feel that it's helping both of us voice our opinion and stuff. I feel that just listen, all I'm doing is listening to the resources. And this is what I'm talking about. People give us the resources. And then once we utilize the resources and stuff, then we're demonized as whatever they may think. And so you have to do the work for yourself. What's the point of giving the resources and then having people stuck and unable to do the things that you're teaching them to do? I took it and ran. I heard that, you know,
that's my whole thing. That's all. Like, when it comes to the, like, everybody just trying to figure it out. So my whole thing is, y'all never know what y'all gonna get with me. So
no worries.
I'm telling them. Look, I know we ain't worried about it. I'm telling them. Yes, I know. Mothering does not stop because the camera comes on. Yes, this is definitely playing a big part it's helping. I can definitely say it's helping me. And then, you know how you were reflecting earlier about how we are really content creators. And that hit me the other day because Facebook finally sent me the thing saying that I can do the monetization or whatever.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, oh, that means I'm growing. Like, I didn't even realize. I'm like, oh, that means I'm growing.
Before you do, make sure you take off your crest from the click clock.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you take the print off, the water print, even if it's cap cut anywhere, because they won't pay you.
Okay, because it's not original. But it was just the fact that for one, I didn't even consider that. And then the other day, I was just like, because remember I told you I'll be taking all my little lessons from you, my little gems you be dropping. I'll be like, okay. And I was just like, damn, like I didn't realize I was making as much. Okay, I am a content creator. Okay, I'm getting it. Like, I'm getting a hang of it.
I mean, we're not getting up until this point like residuals from those content spaces, but you know, and then it's like branding. Sometimes it's not even the monetization of yourself. It's literally people sharing and liking and commenting and sharing and liking and commenting, because we've done all the things that we could do. Right. We made the content, but it's all in void if no one shares it, likes it, subscribes, shares it, likes it, subscribes, comments, gets into it. We could talk all day because we live in the same town. We're going to see one another on the 16th. You see what I'm saying? But it's like it takes the audience to help push us to, if that's something that they want. Yeah. But I'm also in the long game. I'm not here to just be here to be here. And that brings us back to Becky in the good hair when she has the PMS. You see how you do content? There's people out there that say, I got a camera, I got a phone. And you could tell through all of that cover girl that they full of sugar, honey, iced tea. It's not given. They say in words.
Right. They can read a script.
Even if it's a script, you can still, I mean, I use a script, but I use it to keep me in my
Oh yeah,
Gemini,
it's nothing wrong with a script. What I meant from script is when they see someone else's videos or content and then turn around and just use that script, that person's script as their script and just tweak it a little bit. That's what I'm referencing, because I use a script as well sometimes to keep me on, like you said, keep us on.
We have to specify because we have some sweet pickles here, and we have to make sure that they get to their destination.
Yes, that's why I'm like, no, in this sense.
Right. No, I get you. Because Lord. And it's like, in that meeting, watching Devils Wear Prada, I had a That's So Raven moment, because that's what I do. I like to go to movies that intrigue me for certain things, because I want to achieve greatness. And thoughts are things. They are. I was in a different mind space when I watched the original Devil Wears Prada. And then fast forward however many years, I'm looking at myself running up the stairs like Stella Got a Groove Back with my 29-year-old. Like literally Stella Got a Groove Back, because I got my hair in my braids. I'm in my 40s. I just don't have... what should we call him? I have my Sancharito. I just don't have my Caribbean lover. I got more of a salsa,
Yeah.
My Dabalito.
That is okay.
But it's just I feel that putting things in perspective can work in your truth, because like I said in my last video, accountability, awareness, knowing when to tell someone, hey, you know what, HE double toothpicks, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that blah, 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 and you wear all the egg on your face. Now it's up to you. And also, why are we gatekeeping someone else's awakening moment? Why are we walking on clouds and doing this? I remember when she doing all this and
like damn, like we did the work. Can we bask in the fruits of our labor? Like, can we reap the seeds that we sowed? Like, god damn, because y'all miserable, we got to be miserable too. We work too goddamn hard to reflect and do this inner work. You can achieve this peace in this mindset as well if you just do the work instead of watching us so closely.
And that means because you're so worried and consumed about what others are doing, to where when you're in certain achievements, it comes out in the sauce. It's like, everyone's a mom, but not every mom puts love in their food. There are people that you look at their category of food and you just like, damn, and then you go and you
taste is bland as fuck.
The song that comes to mind, that pump it up, dun 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 dun. You trying to pump it up with like flavor, and you hearing that song just look like the turkey be all glazed, like perfected, like you got a butterball turkey in front of you, just looking, whoo! Turkey sound like jerky in your mouth. Dry. Not even succulent. You see all the juices inside the pan. You're like, how the hell did that happen? Because it was no love.
You looking at the final plate and you like, wait a minute. I know this is not what I went and got. I know this is not what I plated. I know for a fact it looks so appealing.
They got you for some Swanson's broth around that turkey. They put that 15 minutes in. They sure did, because that sucker was dry, tasteless, no love.
Bamboozled. I probably remember at the last time I was like, I feel bamboozled. I feel.
One, and it's like everybody can make mac and cheese, but no one's putting love in their mac and cheese. Didn't I make mac and cheese last? I don't remember what I made in that crock pot. I brought two different.
That was a green bean.
I did green beans, green beans and potatoes, and then I did mac and cheese. Those things go hand in hand. That's a very southern dish. I was like, I don't know which one to do, and I did it in the crock pot.
Yeah.
And it, was it crispy or what in that crock pot? Oh yeah, yeah. And it's like, those are things that I love. I'm not saying that I love to cook, but when I love to cook something that I want to eat and enjoy too, I put love in it because I want it to be edible.
But that was you showing up authentically. Like, that was you showing.
But then people call that over the top when they see Black girls do that. What the fudge?
That's because when you are operating from authenticity and others aren't, it makes them, again, uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable to see somebody walking in their authenticity and they are not able to do the same or not in that capacity or whatever. When in reality, you can do the same. You just got to be you. Like, that's all it.
But my video was stating that fact is that why are we walking on clouds and then trying to gatekeep how someone's spiritualism should be showing up? That should be unpacked and talked about as well, because why are we spiritualists and then thinking because we're across someone else that's not you, right? Because we all have different fingerprints. Why are you gatekeeping the narrative of how this person is being? Just as long as they're a groovy person and aligning with all the boxes of spiritualism, they're still them. Isn't that what we're telling everybody that we should be? Is us? Oh, be you. Be within yourself. Do this, do that. And then as soon as you come across somebody that really does the thing, you're like, wow, that's too much. I don't get that.
I'm not sure if you had seen it or not because you were out of town. I had made a video. We both made videos on authenticity, accountability, all of that. And I made a video on authenticity, and I spoke on how, especially because we just spoke on how we both are real big on the truth, speaking truth, encouraging the truth, advocacy, all of that. And I made a video in regards to accountability and authenticity, and I was letting people know, like, that is where your power lies. Your power lies in you showing up in whatever space or room or environment as your authentic self, and being okay with whoever is not okay with that, and being okay with whoever is okay with that, but you are showing up as you. And I even spoke on how there is power in that, but there's also power in speaking your truth. You can't speak your truth if you are playing as somebody else. If you are not operating authentically, how are the words that are coming out your mouth your truth when you're not even in the energetic space of your own truth? You're not even showing up as yourself as you are trying to speak your truth, when in reality your truth seems to be someone else's truth because it's not authentic to you.
Because when you operate from giving people salads and it's just word salad, word salad, word salad, and then time progresses, right? And then the ones that are awakened around you start to see. The ones that have done the work, 9 times out of 10, unless something like really pushes them to ask you, they're not going to ask you. Because one, that's groveling. You see that I'm doing the work. I'm showing up for you. I'm thinking you're going to like tag team simultaneously. And then the communication dwindles because it gets exhausting with the authentic one trying to be around an unauthentic person, because now you're outshining them. And then they want to diminish your light because they're not walking in their own truth. And then there goes that.
You're right. And that's where accountability comes in at. And in my video, I had mentioned how there have been times where I've entered a space authentically, but even in that moment of me being my authentic self, it was not the right space or the right place for the authenticity that I was presenting, and it caused some other issues. And in my authenticity, I had to take accountability of the fact that, okay, although I was showing up as myself, I can take accountability and apologize and say this and this and this was not right, but I still stand on the overall basis of my authenticity, but I am able to take accountability and address my wrongs within that situation, to where now moving forward, I can walk into that space again and actually show up completely authentic, because I was able to take accountability on how I acted or reacted or how I operated in that space, even if I was still being authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also plays in when people are operating in their authenticity and we are able to be fluid.
Mm-hmm.
It really honor whatever version of us comes out in that moment. I think that bothers people because then that's when they look at us and they say, you're tripping, or you got this and this personality, or you don't know who you want to be, or you no, because I am completely whole because I've done the work. So because I am operating from this space and I show up like this, does not mean because I operate in this space and show up like this that I'm not being authentic, because I am showing up as me in both scenarios.
And that's the human. You're allowed, because when you do the work, you should be able to know when I'm having a bad day, I'm going to stay within myself. There have been times to where I'm quiet because maybe I'm going through a perimenopause moment and I don't want to and say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes just knowing your discernment and discerning, knowing when you're quiet should not reflect on they don't want. I showed up, but I'm being a team player. It just so happened that happened, and I don't want to censor myself talking about something that we do, because it seems as Black women, as soon as we do, people just shun it and say like you're supposed to be Teflon.
Yeah.
So then you just stay quiet.
And that's another thing. They want our voices, but then when we use our voices, it's a problem because, oh, you wanted me to speak my truth, but because my truth made you look bad, now it's a problem. No, you don't get to censor the truth. You don't get to censor with how I speak my truth. If you want me to show up and speak my truth, then you take my truth for my truth. There's no
pew,
truth or it's not. So you can't tell me how to speak my truth. You can't tell me to speak my truth and then say, oh, that's too much truth. Never mind. Reel it in. You can't do that. But they do that because they're not authentic within themselves.
They're not. And then let's talk about how we have been traumatized with the propaganda of showcasing in cinematic films, because I love to bring things back. How I was talking about cinematic literacy. Sometimes we don't even see that the propaganda at hand has indoctrinated us to think of what spiritualism is. Why is it that when people come to my house that deliver stuff and they see my Orisha's altar? Now, I live in a Hispanic community. I'm Afro-Latin. I do my statues and stuff. They do their $100 Jesus. Hey, that's all on them. But it's still an altar. It's still a ofrenda. It's still the same thing. But because it's Black figures, it's demonized and weaponized. It's a demon. It's not a demon. It's a Black fucking person. Why is that? And then as soon as a Black person practices, it's like they get the heebie-jeebies. We first get called that we're doing voodoo, hoodoo, all the evil things, right? All demonic. When it's coming from the same as Wicca would be called a kitchen witch. Kitchen witchery and Wicca is the same thing as practicing voodoo, hoodoo, spiritualism, all of those things.
Yeah,
You just call it a different rose. That's the one that gets me, because as a spiritualist, it hurts me to see when I'm walking into my truth, how people weaponize my truth because they're not walking in their truth, because they're probably operating on the success wagon. And whatever success wagon that is, hook it. You know, people feel like, dang, like this person is really walking in their truth. Let me knock them down a peg instead of embracing them.
Yeah, I was just saying that instead of, when somebody feels that way, it's like just simply turn within yourself. That's the turn. That's what I would tell people. That's just like the message. Look within yourself before you start projecting outside of yourself, because I promise you so much would be so much better if so many people took that energy that they do to project upon others. If you just take that same energy, that same whatever that reasoning is that you are projecting upon others, let that reason be why you reflect upon yourself. So that way you don't feel bothered when somebody else says speak their truth, and you don't feel the need to project against them or try to dim their light when all you need to do is reflect and brighten yours.
Yeah.
The world would be so much better, I feel like, if the amount of people took that energy and that momentum that they have to bring someone down or to project upon them or to judge them for showing up authentically or whatever the case may be, if they just took that energy and just poured it into their fucking selves, we would be so much better.
To truly accept, but it's the truly accept that person, because sometimes when you're networking, you may potentially not rub shoulders with that person. That's why when you're an entrepreneur, networking is such a lovely thing, because you might not have talked to that specific person, but you have a like-mindedness to where it's like, I could have saw you 12 times in a Target, but because we're doing something that's so like-mindedness, it's like, boom, okay, yeah, it might not be everybody in the group, but it's like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm an older person. And I think ageism is a thing too, because I look so youthful that people assume that I'm a kid. I'm a whole grown woman. I'm not trying to do the things that half y'all want to do. And then when I'm around y'all and I'm so youthful and doing the things that are youthful, for it's like a cross frequency of sorts. Well, she does pole fitness, yeah, but I'm not Diamond at the Players Club.
Right.
I'm doing pole fitness. You see the word association? Those are two different things. I'm not a pole yeah, but then it's a word association. It's like when someone says, hey, you want to go out for a drink? And then someone says, well, I'm not an alcoholic, so you don't drink coffee, tea,
Right.
boba, water. And when I would answer like that, it's like, why are we thinking just because someone says you want to go out for a drink or whatever, that it always associates with alcohol? And then when I would answer like that, they're like, damn, well, I didn't want to go with her. So I sit there and say that shot, right? Because I'm in my field some type of way. And then here she comes with the snappy little comeback. And I'm,
yeah.
And it's like, because you do the work and you have awareness within yourself, you do have ways to have shot fires. It might not be 2008 version, but it might be a lukewarm version, because you're not trying to burn bridges. Dad, one day at the ocean.
For real. That's how you know the difference in the air. You went from clean air to
I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so choked up.
Because your lungs was able to breathe, and then you came
Yes,
back.
and now I'm just like, it's like getting all prepared. It's like, no, you need more dust. One day away. You see how I'm tearing up? That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts. But Wicca, and then transcending to getting the Orishas, because I had to unpack for myself. There's not a lot of material out there for people that are in the Black spiritual community. And once you start looking into the Haitian Santeria, like literacy, I think that's when we get those stereotypes spoon-fed to us. And when Princess and the Frog came out, more people had problems with the facilitator and the tarot card reading than a person trying to excommunicano a child with a poison apple. Like outwardly. Like this old person is trying to feed and poison a child. And then she has to be sexually traumatized by getting a kiss from some random person to awaken her. But the other one was too truth-telling, because this person was lying and wanted to be greedy and had a life lesson with it. Y'all didn't like that. Oh, it's too much. I don't know what they're gonna do when Mel Gibson's canceled, but it's gonna come out with the part 2 to the Pastures of Christ. Did you hear about that? He's gonna do the allegory of when the Satan was cast out, and the resurrection version of demons and angels and spirits.
Well, that's gonna ruffle some feathers.
Well, you know that he usually and I'm bringing him up because of the cinematic literacy. He with Passions of Christ, I didn't know that he funded 200 and something $1 million for the Passions of Christ because the industry didn't want the faith-based industry didn't want it, and the regular industry didn't want it. So there's a faith-based Lionsgate whatever that he had to use his own production company to make Passions of Christ, and now he's doing a part 2 to the Passions of Christ.
The fact that he even has to do all of that just lets you know how.
Well, yeah, I mean, he dropped the N-word and he was canceled for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I looked at my husband and said, if the industry didn't want this person, and I'm not excusing it, I'm just saying the industry and how they infiltrate certain narratives. How is it that on a hot mic you got them to say something so outrageous and so clear, full conversation? And that leads me to how the industry likes to plot those oysters, and when you don't do the work within yourself, you get got every time.
Yeah. You fall for the okie doke.
You're a freaking high class person. Once we get to a certain caliber, girl, and we living in a Manhattan Beach near Kendrick, there's a different caliber of people that you have to talk around and stuff,
I just, as a means, because, outside of this, you and I talked, and there's been some situations that have been ruffling my feathers a little bit. And I had to sit and reflect after being told you be giving stuff your energy. And I'm like, I acknowledge it, but come on now. But then I thought about it, and I heard clear as day, new levels, new devils. And I'm like, once I heard that, I'm like, because I'm leveling up. And I guess because in the moment we've been doing so much work and been trying to get the podcast, and like we really been intentional about our content and stuff, that I did not see the growth. So to hear that and to see and to be told that and to reflect on that, I'm like, damn, like I just leveled up, or I'm leveling up. So now I got to deal with these new devils.
Yes. And it's like being exposed to the resources. Not a lot of people are utilizing the resources that they are receiving, no matter where you're receiving them from. I have been exposed to certain things in my life that has dewebbed the procrastination. And when my husband and I did financial services, we had a team of like 20 people, and I was leading them. Then just before C19, I had the Wisdom Oak Coven, and we would go to Hart Park and we would do full moon rituals and stuff. And then I would tell people with me, I'm like, look, if you feel uncomfortable, you can go back into your car. But what I'm telling you is that you knew that you were coming here at 7:00 at night. I'm not putting you in harm's way. There's a whole bunch of us. It's like 18 of us doing a circle. It's legal and ethical. It's not past 9. We're within community guidelines and stuff. But I am going to say, as soon as I feel your energy of negativity, I am holding space. And people don't realize that. It's like a bee won't sting you until you swat fear. You don't even have to swat it. As soon as you speak it, it feels your chemistry, and boom, you get wasp. And wasps are soldiers. They send out their signal, and then you get repeated other ones.
That's what I be telling. I tell everybody when it comes to bees and wasps, I say, don't you dare swing at it, because then we're gonna be fighting off a swarm of bees or wasps. I say, just leave it alone. It's not gonna bite you. It's not gonna stink. Not bite you. It's not gonna
still take a breath. It's just curious.
Let it be, literally.
It's just curious. It's probably done this route. It's a soldier. It's trying to figure out, are you a tree? Are you a what? It has to scan you, and then it's away. And you attracted it some type of way.
That's what I be telling the kid. Especially about kid, I be like, don't you swing at it, because it's gonna be a bunch of them coming over here. Don't leave it alone. Let it be. What it's gonna be.
I had a palm tree in front of my house, and one day it was like so dry because they were really doing the drought checks out here. And I go and I sprayed the palm tree, and 2 soldiers came like that, looking at me, and the water hit the fucking palm tree, and then it looked like a cartoon, and then like a swarm of freaking wasps, and I'm like, ah! Now all I could do was just like turn the water higher, just because they don't like water, so I just had to put it on me and douse me and go like this on top, so they wouldn't mess with me because I couldn't, But they were surrounding me. That shit was the most scariest freaking thing. Scariest. I was like, oh my God. And it's not that they're poisonous. It's like, who wants to go through that? It hurts. They leave their stinger in you, and then it has barbs on it.
The wasps can sting a few times. They ain't not,
They
now a
sting
bee.
and bite you.
That's what I'm saying. A bee only gonna be able to sting you once, and then it's gonna die.
No, a wasp will get his teeth.
They will get you.
They bite you first, and if you're still swatting at them, because they're going zoom, and they bite you, and then they say, all right, you want the heat? I'm gonna give it up for the team. Boom. And now you gotta. I had that. That sucker hurts. To get that barb out, it hurts because it's like a hook, and you forever remember that. And then when an elder says, "I told you not to move. I told you not to swat it." Listening just to those things. But anyway, I think we had a lot that we discussed and deliberated about today. I know that it was a little rocky and sorts. It was Mother's Day weekend. You were busy. I was busy,
I think this episode is exactly who we are.
Yeah. Condom math. Make it into a t-shirt because body count don't matter over here.
Fuck a farmer.
I know.
Fuck a farmer. When we get off, I'm putting that as my stat. I kid you not. I'm putting that in my fuck a farmer. I'm gonna fuck a farmer today. I kid you not. I'm gonna go give me some Jolly Ranchers, and I'm gonna fuck a farmer today, and I'm just gonna pop a Jolly Rancher in my mouth. I'm gonna tag you.
Oh my gosh. My dad also had because we're gonna be coming up to Father's Day and Juneteenth for Jubilee. Are you gonna go to Allensworth this year?
I'm not sure. I know my babies have a performance for Juneteenth. They gotta be. When I get the details, I will share that. But I'm not sure.
My daughter's saying, "Mom, you have to come out here for Juneteenth." And I'm like, and I think it's because I had a second lease on life because the 30 years that I have been here, I have been on go mode. My husband and I, we both had different stories of why we're not with our significant others, but let's just say we weren't left with the pieces to be successful. It took us years to get here, right? And financially, with the second two kids that we have, it's a different space. And I feel that what I've realized is that when I made that video, sometimes I think people think that it's so easy for you to get where you're getting. How you were talking about the monetization, right? And then how now I'm rolling up in a EV car in my big body. You don't know how I got it, but still, it's just because I'm a Black person rolling around in good Becky hair kind of car. And you're just like, it doesn't have bad exhaust because you are cinematic literate with the stereotype, to where when you see us in our natural habitat and form, you get kerflepped and kerfluppled and bewithered and all in one Tootsie Roll, because you're like, wait, but when I was watching Friday, that is a whole freaking character. I'm a human being on Earth. She is a human being on Earth. Them, they, them, however you identify, is a person. This person right here, rest in peace.
Well, I mean, if you want to be real about it, we really Earth angels out here, but
yes,
y'all ain't ready for that subject.
No, we're not. In our earthbound angel at that.
Hello, y'all ain't ready for that though. Y'all can't even.
What's the other one? Oh, and then for all you melanated people talking about you want to be a star seed, y'all should go and look that up.
Because y'all should
go.
What it takes to come to know what comes with that path.
Yeah, but a star seed is not even for the melanated converse and all of that, those things. And once you add race into the equation and said, oh, so when I transpire, I have to wait for one of y'all to take me up to heaven because that's the only way that they'll know. Who wants to be in something like that? And when they come to my door and tell them about their little history, they look like, how the hell does she know that? Because knowledge isn't power unless you use it. And I use it when you knock on my door.
Yeah.
Am I blinded because you came in here looking like the Doublemint twin? And I broke bread with them. I had made a Chicago style pizza. The Chicago style pizza was so freaking good that they thought they were at Giovanni's in Wasco. That they send their little imps to come to the house and say, it's Kiki here. And I had to sit them down. I said, I only serve Chicago style pizza to people that want to break bread and converse. I am not going to conform. If you want to just talk about God, the universe, and all those things and how it reflects and makes you a better person, we can have that talk. But I'm not converting to your religion.
Yeah.
Why can't we just have the conversation about all the things?
I'm gonna take the bread and the meat, and I'm gonna leave the bones for you. Mm-hmm. And you should be able to do the same. Like, I really feel like that's the thing about people. Like, we should be able to have a conversation, and you take what you need from the said conversation, and you apply it, and you leave. What the fuck? Don't apply it to your. Don't apply to leave it for the next person that is for, and let them take what they need from that. You don't have to try to take the whole meal, and you wondering why you can't digest it all, because not everything in that meal is for you. Not everything tastes right. Not everything is for your palate. So you need to take the bread, take the meat, take the different pieces, and apply it to your situation, and leave the rest of the meal for somebody else.
Yes.
No, people want to be greedy, and they want to eat everything, and then they mad because they can't finish it. They full, they don't like it. It's doing their digestive system a disservice. It's doing their nervous system a disservice.
Yes.
Baby, all you have to, just because I made a full course meal, all you have to do is take the sides if that was all that you were able to consume. If that was all you was able to consume, you should have just took the mac and cheese and the green beans and potatoes on the side and left the turkey over here for somebody else.
I'm on a special diet. Okay, I'm on a special diet. No, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it. I'm on a special diet, and I go over to someone's house that's not on my special diet. No matter what the diet is, I'm just saying special diet. You insert the freaking blank, people. Come on, let's use our cognitives. And so, you do that, and you go into it. Now, if you read the Bible talks about how when Joseph went over, when they were putting blood on the door, and he was really hungry because he was tired, and this family that he usually didn't break bread with, I'm paraphrasing, it's not the full freaking scripture, but I'm paraphrasing the story because it stuck with me. In that time, the preacher says to us, as Joseph sits here and puts blood on the door, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, superstar, blah, blah, blah. He sits here and he tells the story of breaking bread with this particular family. And even though they were not Hebrew, they were amongst the flock. And at that day, they believed in Jesus and stuff, but they didn't eat the same things as him. And all I have to say is that he ate it says something in the verse or something like he ate what he could. Take it for what you want. When it says he ate what he could, he didn't go inside the house and say, I'm a vegan and y'all got all these goddamn Doritos here. Did you know that they have blah, blah, blah and blah.
You know, it's the truth though. And we'll have to talk more about that. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that more in the next episode. For sure. We said a lot in this one. For sure.
We did. It was a lot of reflection. Mother's Day just passed.
It was. And I honestly feel like don't do too much don't do too much editing with this one. Even though you don't, you know what I mean? But I think this one really just needs to just get put.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially with us speaking on authenticity and everything. I think this is the one to just.
But I want to do something like that. Yeah, no, I think so. I think that it was just reflection, right?
Yeah, I think this was a good episode. We touched on a few different things. Hopefully, y'all take what y'all can from it, take what y'all need from it, apply it, let the shit fly that ain't for y'all. And
I have cards to pull from real quick, and these are life purpose cards. This is the Oracle Oracle.
So while you shuffle and do that, I just want to let people know, like, hopefully y'all see us coming on here and being transparent, authentic, and us telling our stories and our experiences will help you apply that same energy to yourselves. Like, y'all just gonna get what y'all gonna get from us, and watch these cards confirm everything that we say, because that's just how on it we be. That's how on it we be. What it say?
Okay, this is what it looks like.
I got those same cards.
Really?
Yeah, let me see the box. I swear I got them same cards. I just used them in somebody's session the other day. Yes. I swear we be so aligned.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one is animals. You understand animals and communicate with them attentively. Trust your inner guidance as the animals are part of your life's work. Now, word association. Animals, like Michael Jackson talk about vegetables and word association. Do you know what vegetable he's talking about? He's not talking about collard greens and green beans and potatoes. No, he's talking about a person that is capacitated to all means and is unable to talk in this life cycle. You're a vegetable, you're a vegetable. People that no, he's not talking about greens, beans, and potatoes. Animals could also be talking about the imps that we were talking about in our association of our life. Wherever that transcend and land or whatever, I think that we should be able to speak our own truth, because then we are gatekeeping within ourselves, dealing with these freaking animals. Yeah. However you feel that those animals are. It could be the BITCH. I don't even say that word. I'm unable to even speak it. But if you want to be a female dog in heat, hey, so there it lies. If you want to be ready for a concentration camp and speak German, that's where you do. I don't speak German, so that's why I don't call people that word. I feel that we should start calling people kings, queens, and positive reinforcements, not a lady dog in heat, because that's what it translates to in German. It is just a very derogatory term that I personally don't know that sometimes use. So it's warranted. It's warranted. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes they are operating as such. So
yeah, and that's why I call them imps.
Yes.
A devilish little creature that does mysterious things and sometimes utilizes chaos for no freaking reason. Imps. IMP. Say it with me. Imps. That is the word of the day. Yes. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you pick other words from the English language, instead of saying the top 80 words, sometimes it has people looking cross and have to look the word up, and it gives you 3 seconds to get away. It's like, if you're in a DV situation, you use farina and boil it and then boop, because it sticks instead of water kind of thing. Yeah, that's how words work when you use words that other people don't utilize. Like, I'm married. I know that I'm a hot catch. When I go to the gas station and I get catcalled and they say, darling, what's your name? Remember, say it with me, Taken. Because it is. I'm married. See? You see how that works? Jolly Rancher, play on words. And then he'll look, or they'll look, and they'll say, huh? Taken? Yes. Taken, not yours. Bye. And that by the time he did that, you and your car gone. Because he took so long because he's not used to, I don't want your number. And then there goes the drink. Why are we matching energy? Just because someone says match energy doesn't mean that you directly match the energy.
Every now and then you got to meet them where they are, though.
Yeah. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yeah,
you do.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So I feel that we had a lot of bitch be gone spray moments, and the person came in here hot and heavy, but we still reflected because they can't put a monkey wrench on here because I'm ready at all times, because literacy is a thing.
Because I will pause. Hold on. Real fast. Hold on. Because you want the hold on. I was like, hold on, Kiki, hold on. They said, what? You said who? Don't let me say hold on, because the moment you tell me hold on, you done fucked up. The moment I said hold on, I didn't clock that. Oh, okay.
I wouldn't even. But see, the thing is I don't even read the comments on.
I know. That's why I was like, hold on, Kiki, because they got me fucked up today. Who are you, sir? I said we got business. We are multiple business.
I know. And then
We
it's
are
like, but
multiple business owners between the two. I'm like, hold on.
and I love when they sit there and say stuff like, and that you're I bet you're barefoot in your what did they say, projects.
And
And
I
I
touch
said,
grass. Yep, I sure will take my.
I
my
said,
look,
well,
I sure will take my project sitting ass and sit on some grass
but even
and
if I
clock your
was,
and
you're not
clock
paying
your
my
tea
bills.
and clock your tea as my bills are paid. Exactly.
And then I say stuff like,
CEO of multiple businesses looking ass. We gonna
how
sit
do
in grass.
you sit here and equate that? And then have you ever read an HOA? You're paying to be in a high price project. I can't put my garage up at 4. I can't work on my own car or change the oil that I paid 500,000, almost $500,000 for. I have an HOA, a book this big with all these policies. If you have a tree in one of the HOAs that I read, if you have a tree that's with the path that's in between the pavement, which would be a sidewalk, right, and your house, when you walk and you have the sidewalk, and then they'll have like the little trail of grass to make the aesthetic look nice. If the grass or tree it transpires, you're responsible for watering it, and they can find you for however much money.
They fine you for everything. I've heard stories of people getting fined because the packages were sitting outside on their porch too long. On the porch that you are paying mortgage for is wild as fuck.
It's wild. So as you demonize people that live in the projects, hello, you're paying for living in the projects. It's just not called the projects. But if you look at all of the rules, and then you look at all of the rules that people in the projects live, it's the same freaking rules. You just paying for them. I've looked at the laws and procedures because I'm that freaking nut. I looked at the project rules. You cannot have your garage open if you have one that is acquired into a duplex. You can't work in front of your house. You can't have your car sitting out there. It has to be operational. If someone reports you and says that your car has been staying there more than 24 hours, it will be towed. If I look and close my eyes and took off the label of HOA and projects, you wouldn't know which one is different. But when you're literate and have the knowledge and just dig a little deeper, and just figure out, oh, well, when I buy a home, I'm just going to get a regular home. If there's rules in that, but it's less likely that you're going to get in trouble because you don't have an HOA coming around and having security.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I was looking at properties and whatnot to be able to move, I'm like, and I was just hearing about HOAs. And then when I start making sure, like when I looked at a property and I seen it said HOA, I said next. Because I'm not paying your fees. And I swear to God, I am the one to be ready to catch a case if you come knocking on my door telling me what I can't. Baby, bye. That's what, like, let me just save myself that headache and let me find a property that is not HOA based because I'll be ready to look. I'll be looking for any. Don't give me a reason.
My kids' father's family lives in a substantial area by Riverwalk Park, in that area, right? Gotta get a code to get in, kind of thing. And it still kind of makes people kind of strange, like, wow, you know someone that yes, I do. But anyway, that's besides the point. The thing of it is that they live in a cul-de-sac. Okay, usually when you live in a cul-de-sac, you have a little bit more room to park. So they're from Ghana, so they're like wanting to party like Mexicans and stuff, and have a lot of people at their house because they still believe in community. Do you know that the HOA gave them all a ticket on New Year's because there was too many people on the cul-de-sac parked?
And you gotta be we're gonna have to talk about this on the next one because I gotta go get my baby in a minute. Okay. But you gotta be I swear you gotta be one miserable ass motherfucker to sit there and be the president of an HOA or whatever, and you really sitting there, you really ain't got no life if you are able to sit there and count how many people are at this, or count that this trash can was outside on the curb 2 hours after it was supposed to get. But
this is the key. This is the key to that. There's no real president of an HOA. Unless you live in a country club, there's no real president. These people are taking this book and reading the laws and making themselves
the head.
Found that out because they had a situation.
You got to be miserable to be able to do. You got to, baby. You got. That's
they were
crazy.
So mad. The people that moved in next to them were so mad that they moved. They thought because they were living in Highgate that they weren't going to.
I didn't know that just because you live in a gated community with a passcode that you don't socialize, you don't have gatherings, you don't party, you don't have community within your family and stuff.
But that's that's another way. That's just like I'm gonna land my plan on Hudson because we're gonna talk about this in the next one, and this is food for thought. If anyone has questions and want to add it on our YouTube, on my DAspicyGemini channel, it's the same crest and name. And where can they see you, Cammie? Where's your social medias and your dealership and stuff?
So everything on me is Linktree. So linktr.ee/DIVINEKAMEE. Linktree/Divine and that's gonna have everything.
And is it on your bio?
Yes, it's in my bio.
Okay. And so
I'll send it to you too if you need to.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that signs and things, and here we go with the word association, like having no colored signs, right? Having no dogs, cats, and whatever derogatory name they had back in the swinging roaring 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. I get where
you're going with it.
And now you have deserved the right to refuse, right? And then you have the situation with the cake situation, the LGBTQ plus I were getting married. And that called,
oh no, it was a different one.
Was it?
Pastries.
Oh, pastry. No, wait.
Huh? It was pastries had one. Pastries, that's, I ain't gonna say that. Pastries is another one. That was the one that I heard about. And it was a big old controversy because they refused. I did not know that Smith's Bakery was another one.
Smith's Bakery did it too. It happened, but theirs got settled out because pasties was like, the test model of we're not trying to mess around and find out, so let's hurry up and hush. But if you were reading the local news, there was several people here that refused. I don't know if Sweet Surrender did or not. I have no idea, but I just know that it's the fact that you have reserved the right, and you don't necessarily outwardly see someone's sexuality.
Right.
But when I walk into a store, you will see that I am from the melanated diaspora. And that's where I'm going to take that. I understand that we both have civil rights and that it is a very slippery slope when I say stuff, but when you outwardly see someone, now are you going to utilize that we reserve the right to rent you an apartment?
And I think the HOA is just, and like you said, the right to refuse is just modern day segregation. That's all it is.
They just changed the roles.
They just changed the role. They just changed the name. They just fluffed it up a little bit. If you are able to afford to live in this space, then you really have to follow our rules, and we don't think you're going to be able to follow our rules. So that's how we try to get rid of that. We still control what you got going on.
It still burns my bonnet beyond a bee. It's like a whole nest of those motherfuckers just chilling. When I think about it, it took me almost 13 loan officers to purchase a home.
And that's crazy. And I watched, and you know what? I'm gonna actually, maybe I can try to reach out to her. I seen, and at least see if I can use her video as a response. But it's a couple that I know. They're married and everything, and they're trying to sell their home. And she made a video based on the fact that they were getting an appraisal, and they did not want to be at the home because they just knew that would affect the appraisal. And she was like, we don't have the luxury of being at the home while we get appraised. Mm-hmm. And she was just like, luckily our agent understands that, even though he does not look like us, he understands why we are saying we do not want to be at home during this appraisal. We do not want to be at the house. Let's hurry up and leave. And I'm like, that is just so sad.
My in-laws, when we sold their home, They're from the Mexican diaspora. Even them, we had to take off certain things in the home because they said, we don't want them to give the vibe of who culturally was
Here. We
here.
don't want to give them any reason to deny
That
anything. And that is so fucking crazy.
it's crazy. And so it's like they say that when a black person theoretically purchases a home in a neighborhood, that the property value goes down when they find out that it's a black person that owns the home.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about all of that. I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she'd be willing to, because that's something I can't relate to that in that sense because I haven't purchased a home, but that is something that both of you are able to relate to. But even if she's not willing to get on the podcast, I would be like, well, do you at least mind us using your video, just to highlight this is what we have to deal with?
Look into USDA loans. That's how I purchased my home.
Okay.
It's like the cousin of a conventional. If a conventional loan and a FHA loan were to have a child out of wedlock, that's what a USDA loan is. Because a lot of people are like, "Isn't that beef? Isn't that meat? Isn't that the agriculture?" I'm like, yes. And that's why I live in bumfuck nowhere, because they want to have people live in rural homes, rural areas, sorry, and have a different population instead of everyone living in a metropolitan area. They want to try to outsource, but they don't even tell people about the USDA loan. Like, every state in the United States of America has the potential of getting someone a home with the USDA loan. You just have to know where are you going to live. That's a redlining area, and it's a rural area. So, and I think that's why a lot of people don't look into them, because it's a lot of banjo counties out there that these rural areas are. I just looked up that I'm in a place in California that's rural, that it runs into to where it's like it's a Hispanic diaspora. I'd rather deal with that than the other alternative kind of thing. You get my drift? It's colorism, but it's a different kind of colorism.
The lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, and it's like once the population where I'm at knows who I am, it's pretty much, oh, we know who you are. You're grilling like we grill. And once we see what's cooking, we can taste what the things are. We leave you alone. Okay, you're good. You're a good egg. All right, whatever. We move on. And so I get that. But with the other diaspora, you have the Karens and the Billy Bob Thorntons that want to be calling on you.
Yeah.
On a holiday. So it's stuff like that. So I just didn't. The lesser of two evils is right. But look into that, because it may be a little drive, but I'm here to tell you, I live my best life. I'm not paying a astronomical price for my mortgage. I started off with a very minimal price, and I could just say, when I had a little snafu during C-19, I'm so thankful that I listened to my prayers when I was like really going for it. Because if I would have started out with, let's just say, if I qualified for 200,000, people will want to find a house for 200,000. Doesn't mean that you should get a house for 200,000.
Just because you qualify for that,
Just
right?
because you qualify for it, right? Because you're gonna end up, if something happens, now your payment's like 2,000 a month. You have no wiggle room for your income. God forbid if something happens.
Right.
So always get the house that you want, that you can freaking build it up and fix it up. It might take a little time, but it's yours.
And yeah, you got that. You give yourself a cushion, a safety net, just in case
for the future. It's like when I
you don't want to move into a house and then you stressing out on how you're gonna upkeep the house. You can't make the house the way you want to make it because all your money is going. And then you start to resent the home because you then added more pressure on yourself trying to get the home when you could have gotten a different home and made that your home and still had the room to be able to breathe. I get it.
Yeah. And sometimes, I feel that listening to certain people with finances, that helped me too, because they said like anyone could live anywhere in America. It's just doing your research and not following the trends of what everyone else is doing when you're purchasing a home. Having the education can allow you to purchase a home. I'm still sad that redlining is a thing, and it took me 13 loan officers to purchase a home. And if it wasn't for my the last person that was my person that helped me find the house was Filipino. If she was if she didn't have a heart, I don't know what would have happened. Because she's the one that told me about the USDA loan, and she was the 13th one. All the other ones, because I wasn't a slam dunk, I was making about $75K as a certified nursing assistant. That was the high, and I had a burning discernment to say, you better hurry up, because I don't know if you'll ever make this again. You better hurry up and do what you need to do. And I did. But that's my story. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I am going to give people the pieces of what I found out, that it's not just FHA. It's not just the conventional. They have USDA loans out there that can help people get a home. And with a USDA loan, I'm going to leave you with this. You don't potentially have to have all that money in your bank like a conventional. You don't have to have that however much they want you to have in your banking account. You know? So, but I'm going to go because we have been here all day talking about
I
the
know. I
FHA.
just remember that I can walk.
Sell it.
Yeah, they just don't want to.
They just don't want to. And that will lead us to all of the things that we will talk about. And this is just going to be a raw one. I'm just going to boop.
Yeah, just shit. Fuck it. This probably be the one that blow up.
Oh my God.
It always happens like
I'm
that.
literally going to wait for it to queue, and I'm just going to bloop, and then I'll put the other one up and edit that one.
I promise you, it's like it's always like that. You put your best work out there, and then it be the one where it's just a bunch of glitches and all kinds of shit that want to blow up and go and make you viral.
Remember, it said we had to deal with those animals.
Animals.
Those animals. But I have to go because I have a doctor's appointment too in B-Town. And then I enjoy this. We will talk later. Love y'all faces. Thank you for coming. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Go to all of our things in our bio. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. Yes. Let's go.
Hey guys.